Well, as it turned out, I had to replace both windshields. Unfortunately, they had both delaminated to the point where the glass was just too fragile. On this passenger side window, this passenger side window, a big chunk had been taken out down here in the lower right-hand corner, right where the inspection sticker is going to go. So I don't think the inspector stickers would have missed that one. Oh well. And on the driver's side, which I've already installed, that one had delaminated. So just by handling the glass, removing it from the frame, recalking it, the thing just cracked. The price ranges from about $165 to $175. I had a place in Worcester, I'm not going to name names, cash only, and it was $175. And then I went down to Dudley, which is about a 20-minute ride from here, and it was about $165. So, and they did take a credit card, so I was where to begin? First off, if you've taken your cab apart, as I have, it's good to use a stool. Doing this kneeling down is just too old. Another thing is flathead screwdriver, 9/16 inch mini wrench with a ratchet, and 3/8 inch mini wrench with a ratchet. Now, I don't know what size these screws are, but if you can save them, save them. My local hardware store couldn't even come close. Remember to save your hardware on these brackets, and also take them off carefully so you don't drop them. These brackets come with a little, I don't know, flathead. What is that? Pan head screw with this type of lock washer. And that's the first thing you're going to want to do. You want to attach these to the arms. Another thing that's handy to have is just a box. So you can lay the windshield on this. It really helps stabilize the windshield as you're pushing and pulling. Now, this fitting here, it's designed to clamp the hinge in place, but I can't remove it. It doesn't come off all the way. In fact, that's about as loose as I can get it. You really got to squeeze the edge of this into the opening here, and then tighten down on it. But first, let's get these control arms in so we don't lose the windshield. Okay. Easy. Don't cross thread it. Cross thread is better than no thread, but okay, we got it. Okay. All right. That into place. Just finger tight. These stabilize the windshield so it doesn't move around radically and break again. Okay, here we go. Now we're going to put this with that. Now we got to kind of finesse the hinge into this holder. Good. Push that in there. Get in there. All right, let's see. All right, I think that's got it. Dang, that was easier than I thought. Just gotta kind of finger tight these things, a couple of these guys in, just to hold it stable. Get your finger on the bottom of it, and push it in as you wrench it. You know, I really went to pains to find this truck. I first saw it in a defunct ad listing. So I think it may have been a scam listing. It was originally started as a real page, and so it had all of the real information on the sale of the truck except for the contact information. So I sent I filled out the form. I gave him my, essentially it's just my email address. That's it. And shortly after that, I started getting a lot of spam. I usually get a lot of spam anyways, but shortly after that, I started getting more spam. But so I figured, okay, it must have been a rip-off site. But the ad, the more I looked at the ad, I'd saved a copy, the more it seemed genuine. So I did a little bit more checking. I got onto the Steel Soldiers website. I got into their classifieds, and lo and behold, there was the truck. A lot of the information from the other site was there, so I figured that was the original source of the site. And then tracking down the point owner, that was another trip because he's a professional trucker. And coordinating our schedules isn't an easy task. But okay, we're at the next step. Now the hinge is secured. I've got it in. I got two of the bolts in. Now it's a little easier. You can open the windshield up a little bit more, tighten down on these clamps. And now it'll be easier to get the rest of the screws in. Now, each of these windows takes 7 of these tapered screw things. I don't know. And but they only had 6. And in each window, the outer one was missing. I mean, why? And now we can get into it with the ratchet. Tighten this. No, I don't think it does tighten. I think that's about as tight as it gets. Oh, guess what? The windows don't fit. Nope, they do. Okay. It's just I haven't had a working gasket on this thing for like forever. In one window, I trimmed the gaskets up here. They seem to be a lot of extra material. The other window I didn't. So let's see how that shuts compared to this one. Let's see. Well, may or may not work. Some tinted. Come on. Oh, this one's worse. Oh, come on. You have to almost break the window. Oh, great. Now I can't shut the window. I was able to get the window shut. Problem with the windows, I think, were the gaskets. These new gaskets are a lot stiffer than the old gaskets. And I may have put them on wrong. The old gaskets looked like they were bowed out. I kind of thought that was because of age. So when I put them on, I made sure they were bowed in so they grip the metal a little tighter. Perhaps a little too tight. Anyways, I had to take the latch off and bend out the tab in my vise. And I was able to bend it out enough so I can close the window. It's still pretty dang tight in there. I've since lubricated up the hinges in case I'm just trying to get as much play out of this as I can. I still have a little bit of daylight coming in various spots here in the lower right-hand corner and the upper part of the hinge. On this window, I had to take the gasket material out from behind the hinge. So once I get the new gasket material in here, that'll take care of that. Those where it's going to eventually leak up there. Then I also need to put some more gasket material in these corners, the side gasket, I trimmed up on these, but I didn't trim up on this side. So the little tails that were sticking up, I guess that's what they were meant to do to block the where the where the window meets the upper frame of the cab. So I just have to figure out something in these. On one of these window panes, I was able to save most of the original gasket, which is just looked like a piece of rubber that was just squeezed into the frame. The lower part, whichever one it was just too mashed, and the window wouldn't fit. And trying to remove the window once I started putting it in, it was kind of a hard stopper without breaking it. So I filled up the bottom with silicone. Also, when I was taking these windows apart, one of these frames, I think it was this one, was heavily corroded, where water had set in the window frame. I repaired that as best I could and was able to salvage it. I had to remove all of the original gasket material and just filled it in with clear silicone and then caulked around that for a little additional water tightness. But other than that, everything went back together. However, this was the first one I took out. This was the first one I worked on. I never worked on one of these things in my life. I didn't know how these things went together. As it turned out, it's real easy to take these things apart. This upper piece here is held in with a through bolt to an acorn nut and two machine screws on the other side into a little fitting that fits down into the frame. Now, I thought that these had to be removed, and I found it kind of weird that they were riveted in. Note to self, if it's riveted in, it's not meant to be removed. I've got a lot of video that I can't use because it shows me machining off the rivets and then drilling it out. Huge waste of time. So I got those back together. I found the correct machine bolts to put in here and just put a couple of lock washes in there. It worked. Aside from that, everything went smoothly-ish. Yeah, so, hey, fun.